Oh shit. Oh, sorry, we're live.
What a way to start, Maggie.
I was reading something that Kira sent me that I'm not going to read out loud. She will join us in a moment. She forgot because yesterday was her birthday. I wanted to do something here for her birthday. Oh, there she is.
Hi.
Hi, Kira.
Ooh.
What were you saying?
No, I literally started the stream just saying, oh shit, because I just read the last message you sent me. Because I forgot.
Oh!
Start broadcast.
So broken. I'm such a broken person. I'm like, I belong on the island of misfit toys. Everybody do. That's me. Anyways, more importantly, this episode, we were there. First of all, it was so weird because every other scene is so flat, kind of, because you're just watching it. But once you watch the scenes that we saw filmed, it was weird because you remember how hot it was. You remember what it sounded like. You remember what it smelled like.
I remember the one actor not being able to say his line.
Okay, I'm so glad that guy is gay. Like, thank God.
I mean, they were gay. That was everything.
That was great.
That was the best, honestly. I was like thinking, wait, is that the soldier, the date soldier, or was it them? But it's so them.
It was one of the
Grizz.
soldiers who saw the original ghost, and then
Grizz and what the
Sharma guy.
Devin and Grizz.
I can't remember. No, Roach was the older one. I think it's Troy and Grizz. Grizz is conspiracy theory guy.
Devin.
He's not actually Grizz, but that's what the script says. So I'm going with that name. Hold on, I can find it real fast.
Devon. Oh, it's the name of the crew. One of the crew members.
Yeah.
Okay.
So does Grizz.
Okay, but
it was
definitely shipping that guy with Ezekiel for sure. Like,
oh yes.
I like how he just knew. He saw Ezekiel, and he was like, "This guy will believe me."
Oh, I picked the wrong episode. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing.
They're doing something.
That's true. I'm doing something. I don't know what it is, but I'm doing something.
Something, that's for sure.
There it is. It was, in fact, Devin. There we go.
Yep.
Yeah, so Devin. Oh, it's Grizz with a Z. I spelled it wrong in my.
So, didn't the same writer write the Darrington Dare episode?
Yes.
Yeah. Tom McRae.
So, thank God we love. Isn't that the one we met?
Yeah,
yes.
It is. That's just I'm so.
Oh my God, I'm so glad.
I
feel like he looked at us and knew we were so gay. That's why he was staring at us. Because he stared at us for a while. He was like,
oh. He also wrote Self-Fulfilling Prophecy.
Which was also.
He did.
Yeah. Okay, from that assumption, can we assume that what was the black kid's name in Self-Fulfilling Prophecy? Tyson, let's just assume that
Tyson's gay.
Yeah, Tyson's gay. I mean, I already thought so because he was like, wow, like at Ezekiel, he was like, this guy's so cool. Instead of being like all Google Gaga over Eve, like a teenage boy that was straight would have been. Like, let's be real. It's Rebecca Romaine. Like,
yeah.
Any teenager. Like us, yeah. So obviously, that guy's gay.
Flashbacks to season 1, you remember? He's like all over the tag on Instagram, Brian, whatever, who played that one kid at the volcano in Rule 3.
Oh yeah.
Someone like posted on Twitter somewhere about him, like he got touched on the cheek by Rebecca Romaine. How is he still alive or something like that? It was so
I mean, that's a good point.
Honestly, same.
But I really liked this episode because, especially the history, it isn't a theme park part because it just felt like the most Jake thing that he's done this season. Because Jake's just, like, I liked the forest episode besides this romance, which felt weird. But this felt like the most Jake he'd been. Getting mad at this lady, I was like, yeah, that's Jake. There he is.
You're always getting mad at history that is not accurate.
Mm-hmm.
That's my Jake. That's my boy right there.
And I'm going to say it because I don't know for certain. But I think that whole like end bit about like brothers being brothers and like a story of hope and love. Because remember, I told you guys that John told Alex and I that we have an episode that's like a commentary on Trump. I think it's this one, and like it's not a direct commentary, but it's more about the ideal.
It was oh yeah, definitely, because it was literally about a divided country. That's
the British writer's the one that did it.
He's like, I'm gonna talk shit about America.
Oh, I know. But I don't know. I just thought that was really cool, and I liked that, and like the whole changing the name of the town to Forgiveness. Like, I feel like it's a commentary that we need nowadays too. Like,
it's so cheesy, but it's so right.
Mm-hmm. The Librarians, in a nutshell, that's their tagline.
That's true. Yeah. Cheesy, but right.
I keep thinking about the scene that we saw. It was so weird to like actually see it because I'm trying to remember the shots that we got to see on our monitors.
Oh, I remember.
It was so weird when we got there and there were chairs and I was like,
that's for us.
Like when I emailed Lisa afterward, or not Liz, when I emailed Liz afterwards, and I was like, we weren't expecting that. Thank you. That was so
also, I was so glad because I was about to fall over and I was like, this is the wrong place to collapse. So I would have carried you
here. I felt so bad if you had like collapsed at all.
Oh my god, the smallest member of the group carries the tallest member of the group. Oh geez, yeah. That would have been amazing.
I'm small, I am short, but yeah.
Have you ever?
Sorry, I'm like looking at the scene.
I thought someone was talking and I was like, who is this man?
Exactly. So I was like,
watching. I know we saw the 2-shot of Rebecca and Christian, I think.
Okay, when we got the sides, I read one of Ezekiel's lines and I misinterpreted it to be like he was going to be the one making fun of the conspiracy theory guy, and I was like mad about it because I was like, but that's his thing. He's a ufologist.
Schedule.
Yeah, I was like upset. I was stressed out.
And it was so funny though because he said well, and then when you see it in the scene, he's totally into it. Mm-hmm. It was the best thing ever.
I love it because that's. But like, what I'm upset about is when will it be aliens? You know, like when are we gonna?
It's because they're aliens.
That's. Excuse my French, but that's bullshit. What? No, that's not. That's ridiculous.
I'm just coding them. It's never aliens.
Well, there's literally a UFO in the large section of the library in the 3rd episode.
I know, right? So
and we haven't seen that yet.
I can explain yourself.
I totally spaced out what happened.
Okay, but like I'm Zelfa, like I am, like that forgetful chick is who's like over dramatic with poetry. Me, that's definitely me.
I appreciate that because now we finally get a confirmation of female librarians.
Yes,
I knew we had them.
Finally have one.
I thought
librarian.
We just never
from history and the name.
No, we just brought up Ezekiel and his music.
But now what I want, as who knows me knows, now what I want is a male guardian, like, because
I would kill for a black male guardian. That would be everything. I think I was talking about spoiler chat before, like, I especially wanted someone with like an army medical background that could be like the same kind of like nurturing nature as Eve.
Yeah, like just like
more like actual combat. She's like badass, and then having like a softer like male guardian would be everything.
Yeah, because the thing about the guardians is that they're like the bodyguards, but they're really supposed to take care of their souls. They're supposed to be their tethers, they ground them to reality basically and stuff. And they're really a more nurturing force always, or they bring out the best in the librarian somehow. And having a male guardian that like would be great because toxic masculinity is like, oh, guys can't be nurturing or in touch with their emotions or anything like that, and that's some BS. And the show already shows that that's some BS because the guys are very emotional.
Mm-hmm.
But they're still librarians, you know, they're still kind of all headstrong and arrogant, all of them. So even if Ezekiel is just faking it.
I'd argue with Jenkins, like, even though he's like a caretaker, like, he's also pretty nurturing for like as what he is.
Yeah, he's kind of like a guardian. The thing is, they've said that he is like a caretaker, a custodian. They've said he would make a good librarian, and he's basically acted like a guardian quite a lot, especially to Cassandra.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so he's an interesting character.
He was actually at first a guardian, and then he's like, you know, I'm just gonna stick around with somebody else. I'm just gonna stick around.
Well, it's possible because we know that snake doesn't say anything about his life. So
that snake.
He's a snake. I'm sorry, but Jenkins is a Slytherin. It's just a fact.
Yes, I love him. Slytherin twins, bro.
I'm a Slytherin, so I can tell you that.
Okay.
I'm less mad at Jenkins, but like still.
I mean, I'm not like terribly mad, because like I get it, because he's just as headstrong as the rest. So like everything that happened in the beginning, like it was him. I don't even know, like
him giving up his life for Nicole. I loved it. I was like, that's awesome. That's one of my favorite episodes, by the way. That was like the Rasputin stuff. I was like, this is like a good episode. I didn't expect it.
My entire computer is fine.
But back to the Civil War episode. I really liked. Angry? Why?
No, because it's like, okay, with the librarian thing, like the one librarian, it feels like as if the solution is right there in their face, but they just don't want to admit it.
What do you mean?
What solution are you talking about in particular? Because people have said a few things.
Okay, so like, in Cassandra's case, she said it was because they said that the brothers couldn't get along because they were both selfish, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So she thinks she's selfish, but actually she's not. The fact that the thing that she said the first time in the start of the episode, that having more librarians has saved the world more than once, or something like that.
Yeah, I was having multiple librarians to save the library multiple times.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So, like, how is that selfish?
Well, no, because what she was saying about being selfish. Sorry, I like ran right on top of you, Kira. We're gonna say the same thing anyways.
Yeah, we're like, she said.
She was talking to Jenkins about it, and she said she's the one that was always picked last, and she scared that in this situation she's gonna be the one picked last.
Okay, but that's such a gay thing, by the way. Like, that's how you know she was the weird, gay, kind of bitchy kid. Like, she was that kid. Like, we all relate a little bit to that.
I'm her. I'm so her. The one who got picked last and all that.
Her whole reasoning for being selfish is the fact that she's only trying to keep it multiple librarians to guarantee that she remains a librarian. That's why.
But which I same to definitely choose Cassandra. We know she would too.
Yeah, obviously.
Like, if Eve did have to choose, she'd be like, bye, guys.
I know,
it was nice having you around.
I know, right?
Go get bunk beds together somewhere and do your own thing.
Why bunk beds? You're just going to get a double bed and share.
No, because of the thing John Rogers said, remember?
Yeah, they have a partner with beds. That's what you were referencing.
Yeah. John Rogers loved to Ezekiel bait. He was like...
He's also the master of the OT3. But let's not even get into
Yes, he is.
We didn't really get OT3 this episode, which I'm kind of sad about.
He's just a master tweeter, for one thing. Like, nobody tweets like John Rogers. Nobody tweets like John Rogers.
I'm just like, yes, good.
We didn't get OT3 this time, but, you know.
John's either saying something, like, really nice, or he's, like, throwing some really excellent shade. Like, that one time during the Doctor Who thing,
Mm-hmm.
when everyone was mad that there was a female doctor, and he was like, that was, I like screenshotted that, and I was like, should I make this my desktop background? But
Going the extra mile.
yeah. Okay, but like, I'm so glad that the All-American Boy hat was that important, because that was the first thing I loved when we got there, and he came over to talk to us, and we were
freaking out because my first fucking words to John in person were nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I was making.
And I had Jake on the Confederate side, because let's be real, that's just
yeah. If it was the other
like,
way around, it would have just been
weird.
Because yeah, he like that, but he is from the South. But it just would have been really weird to have Ezekiel be like on this symbolic Confederate side, because that's not. Mm-hmm. No.
Now thinking about it, because there's like even more parallels other than the fact that they were obviously like feuding brothers, but like the reasoning that the Loveday brothers were like, wow, my hand's like right in the camera, were originally like they decided to not fight anymore. Also connected very heavily to like Ezekiel and Jake as themselves, because Ezekiel always connects with kids in the Librarians, like that's like his thing at this point. Yeah. And he was possessed by the father who lost his son and wanted to reconnect with his son. And Jake, our ever continuing romantic, was possessed by the Confederate soldier who was in a forbidden romance. And like now I've just thought of that. I'm like, oh
which was great. Which was great. Like the minute you saw that her face was buffed out, you were like, yeah, she's black, because that's what they did to black photographs.
Yeah, that's all.
They were like, nope. They did that. Yeah, like people would people destroyed a lot of the personal property of anyone that they wanted to hurt, basically. And so if you had a photograph, probably get fucked up at some point. That's why, you know, it was very hard for people of color to maintain a history well, especially when they were forced to move around a lot before a lot of movement and stuff. So it must have been really hard for them to be together.
Yeah.
She was pretty too.
I was going to say, this is actually our second subplot in the episode that's revolved around like a person of color. Because we had the same thing in Silver Screen too. I don't want to say subplot, but it's like a little like detail again that's like about a woman of color like being erased, and then all back in the light. So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, this season seems to have taken it in stride a bit. Like it got a little bit more. The messages have evolved a bit more in a direction towards what's going on right now.
I think the like, okay, we kicked out all the conservatives. Let's be liberals. We want.
True. Like by the time, oh my god, the Facebook posts blowing up with all those moms. Like every other website, nobody had a problem except for like some just like angry people on Tumblr. But on Facebook, everyone was like.
Everyone was up in arms, and I always like going to look at those pictures and reading the comments to get a good laugh about people taking their show. Because the gays can't have families.
I know for a fact that for one, most of those people are still watching it anyways. Two, I know for a fact that we got more people to start watching the show.
Yes.
Thing happened. Like a lot of people were like, you know, they were like on it.
There's a gay who did not die. Let's go.
Did you see the person in the tag on Tumblr who like just like a couple days ago was like, they finally made Cassandra gay?
And I was like, welcome to the club.
Yeah, I was like, so late, honey, but welcome. It was hilarious. I don't know why I just thought of that. But this episode, on the other hand, was very straight, except for our guest characters. Because, you know, Caskins. That happened.
Yes.
The Caskins were strong this episode.
Yeah, but like...
That was one of the first few things I jiffed.
I am glad that, because like the more you have those little things, just the more it gets normalized in general. And so I appreciate those little things, especially now that it was gay men, because that's really rare, even in the backgrounds of genre stuff. Like they're only doing girls and girls right now basically in everything, even if they're bisexual, because that's what the male audience is okay with seeing still, and they're still pandering to that. So doing all this gay dude stuff this season with Darrington Dare, and then this even in the background is great, honestly, because that's what we need more of, because the more it gets imbalanced, the more it starts to feel weird and fetishy to have any, what we do have. So you don't want the Librarians isn't like that. So I'm glad that they're not falling in line with things that are doing that now.
Just everyone's bisexual in the Librarians. Let's be real. For them. No, I agree. Definitely. Yeah. I wish we get more of it sometimes. Like, we haven't seen Cassandra with a girl since Eternal Question.
Yeah, we need more.
Like, literally, she's had 0 interactions with women, actually. Now I think about it, except for Eve.
Yeah, it's been a busy season. Like, nobody's gotten much. But the thing is, Cassandra had so much focus the first 3 seasons at times, more than anyone else, screen time-wise, because she had such a big problem. And so the fact that she's, because now we're finally getting more Ezekiel stuff, and we're getting a lot of, Jenkins stuff. And, even it's like the stuff is kind of evening out this season, and we still have a lot of Cassandra stuff, but it's stuff that's not about that yet. So she's had more action.
Yeah.
So still, I want more.
Just give me Cassandra being gay, please. Thank you. But,
Cassandra's becoming more of an action hero now.
That's true, after freaking Sanctuary.
Yeah.
Long gone are the days of her hiding at the table.
Which is great.
Yes. I'm so proud of her. Okay, but the tea party.
Hi, tea.
I was hungry the minute I saw that. I was like, wow.
A lot for 2 people.
Can I talk about show for that scene, though?
Debate that. I mean, if
what was going on there when they were like, admit it, and it was like the really big close-ups, and it was like vaguely sexual.
I was like,
I was about to be in a porn.
It was like, yeah, like I'm gonna make an edit because I can't help it. Like, it took me a while to warm up more to Caskins, just because like I'm more willing to deal with immortal and mortal ships than most people, because it's fictional, and if someone's immortal, then the age difference kind of does. Like, she literally said that. Like, that's the point. And once you point that out, that the only reason people don't like Caskins but might like something like Twilight or whatever is because those people look young and attractive, whereas so it's kind of it's just vain. And but at the same time, you understand, because when you see that there's still actors representing, it is fictional, but it's hard for some people to really see things as fictional. They see the actors more than other people do. They have a harder time immersing themselves in the story, so they're freaked out. And also, they think Cassandra is younger than she is because of the way she acts. But she's in her what? How old is she?
At least her 30s.
30, mid-30s, maybe almost late.
Yeah.
She's not. She's as pretty much as old as Jake.
Yeah.
She's almost 40.
What the hell? There's no age. There's only a year. Hold on. 2018. No, I can't type.
What?
I'm looking to see how old Lindy is.
So I feel like she acts. So they think she acts so juvenile just because she's not. That it weirds a lot of people out more, and I understand that, because it kind of does weird me out still a little bit. This was a good episode for them, because it was. They Lindy and John, basically, they do have chemistry. They do. And they have since season 1, because Lindy wanted that. She's like, I'm doing this. I'm gonna have chemistry with all these ladies and this guy. I don't give a crap. Oh my gosh, and it was so cute in the live right before the first episode of the season aired, when she was just vibrating with excitement over John Larroquette and being able to work with him and do the direction for a dude named Jeff and stuff. She was really excited.
It was so cute. I'm scrubbing through the episode right now.
What are you doing, Maggie?
So I wouldn't. My preferred endgame at this point, would be. I guess my preferred would actually be for Eve, Nicole, and Flynn to end up being together somehow because I love them.
I mean,
OG3.
we know
have another
Nicole is
beautiful
coming back for the finale.
I think, yeah, like, I feel like she might bring Flynn back. She'll be, like, dragging him in by the ear, like, I brought this back. That's what's gonna happen.
I brought this back.
It would be a way to come full circle, maybe.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
And I think... And, the way they said that this was a season for the fans, I try not to read into that too much, but I'm like, they do know we've always wanted an OG3, so I'm like, if it were to happen, that would be a good one. Don't you think?
They could just give us 2 OT3s. Just go straight to 2 OT3s. Rather than just one.
I'm like, we might get canceled anyway, just go for it. Okay.
Literally, waiting with bated breath next week to see what the ratings are for the Alienists on Monday. Because Alienists does well, we might be screwed.
Yeah.
I'm hoping not. Much as I like Luke Evans, I hope he has a good career. I hope the Alienist flops because they'll keep the Librarians.
Don't watch the Alienist, PCA. Don't want it. Don't even know what it's about, but I'm sorry, you have to go. Like, I won't hesitate.
I think
Unfortunately, I'm going to be one of the people watching it.
I honestly
feel so bad.
What the Alienist is about. It's so weird. I just know it has
It doesn't.
And what's her face from Bridge to Terabithia.
I'm going to watch it just for Luke Evans, honestly.
Dakota Fanning. There we go. That was the name I shouldn't think of.
Anyway, but especially after this episode, I think a good end game to fix the library per se, as far as who people end up with, especially because that's kind of what this is subtextually about in a way. And stuff is tied into this tethering stuff, basically, and the positions of the library. It always has been.
I mean, I think for me, I think they're just gonna punch the whole rule in the head and just go, you know what? All of us are gonna get tethered. Deal with it.
I agree. I do think that is one way that they might go because it all seems like they have a habit of like, oh, it seems like it's gonna be dire, but then they say screw it in the end and screw the rules and do what they want.
Exactly.
And it's all happily ever after. So that's probably what's gonna happen. But I mean, if they had to have 2 people tethered, if it was different, I think it will be Cassandra and Jenkins, because then they would both be immortal together. And then I would prefer, like, but then if they did make Caskins canon, I would want just Ezekiel. I'd be like, just give it to me.
Yeah.
It'll be a good, and then everything will be happy. Like, because then everyone will be with someone who understands the library, which is specifically what they talked about in the beginning of the series. So even if Eve, Nicole, and Flynn were together instead of just having them together, that would still work because she's still a guardian. And I would love for her to come back to the library. And I love Rachel Nichols. So if they had to tether just 2 people, but then maybe they kept everyone else around, because then like Flynn and Eve could retire to be kind of like curators, or like they don't have to be librarians. They can still be at the library. In the movies, there were plenty of people that were just at the library, and Darrington Dare talked about that. He assumed they were assistants. He assumed they were curators. And they even go into the field, apparently. So being a librarian is kind of more like a title. You could still be at the library, I think. That's something they forgot.
And considering, like, in the past, there were the whole group of scholars and all that, basically the assistants. So why not?
Yeah.
Bring back the scholars.
And if you were just an assistant, you could have more of a personal life, which is what some of them want.
Exactly.
It would work.
Yeah, Jury Rigging said Dare had his manservant. But would a manservant be a...
Jury mentioned that. The manservant.
Okay, I'm pretty sure they were gay. I'm pretty sure Darrington... let's be real.
No one would call someone a manservant.
No, but think about it. He was based off of Sherlock Holmes. The episode was talking about how him and Moriarty had the gay arch nemesis trope, but his manservant if he was based off of Sherlock Holmes, his manservant was
Robin
John,
Watson.
was Watson.
Yeah.
So,
Yay.
yeah, that was good. And then he saw Flynn, and he was like, Watson 2.0 acquired.
Accurate.
And Eve's face when she realized Flynn was just like, she probably already knew. She was just amused, but she's like, my boyfriend is just bisexual as me. If not more. Because we know Eve is, so.
Yes, definitely.
Why am I'm so tired, guys.
Okay, but like, I'm so glad that despite, you know, like, for this episode, that Dean was, even though they spelled it way, it doesn't matter. It's still, we know what's up. But the fact that they were talking about Ezekiel, I was like, hell yeah. And I don't know if John said anything, but Dean was tweeting about it. And then even Christian Kane was like, I was like, oh my god. Because he's, you know.
Oh my god, someone, and I can't remember, while we were
He's
at
an Oklahoma boy.
when Alex and I were at New York Comic Con, someone asked the panel about Cassandra and when that would be canon, and like ignoring the fact that that was really weird to do, like to ask the creator, hey, when's this ship gonna be canon?
Just as, the way they're just like, it's gonna happen, so when? And it's just like,
literally everyone was like, so well, Dean I think heard it enough that he like wasn't taken aback, but like Christian was actually kind of taken aback, and he was literally, Alex and I couldn't figure out if he was saying I could see her and Ezekiel more together, or if he was saying I could see myself and Ezekiel more together. It was the second. I think it was the latter.
I think it must be the second, because for one thing, they just see a lot more Jake and Ezekiel stuff than Ezekiel. Because, like, yeah, Ezekiel's nice, but it's kind of dead in the water. No one really, but like, I love it, but nobody makes a lot of stuff for that. It's sad. It's kind of like left behind. It used to be more primary, but now it's like been outleagued. I'm sorry, CD. I know you're sad. I'll make you an edit to make up for it.
Ouch.
Okay, but and plus, I'm pretty sure like they're really heavily leaning towards Cassandra and Jenkins, and the whole cast and crew seems to know a lot about that. So I feel like Jake. I just feel like, especially since Cassandra and Ezekiel are even more brother sisterly than yeah. I feel like it was probably the latter.
I think it to John next to him though, so it was either him saying me and John or her and John. But either way. I just thought of that, and it's
either one is funny because I agree.
Literally, Alex was next to me, and they were like, "Did he say that he could see him?"
Like, which one? Either way, I'm glad he said it.
Yeah, it was great.
Either way, good.
Yeah, that made me think of that.
I remember Alex saying something to me about that. Alex was like, I've been racking my mind, but I can't. But Alex is like, because Alex is pretty sure that he said Jake and Ezekiel, but he's like, I'm afraid I'm just using shipper goggles. You're one of the most realistic people. Like, we know. We're not very, like, that's the great thing about the Ezekiel fandom, that a lot of people who don't even ship it say, is that we're not standing up at Comic-Cons and demanding to know when it's gonna happen for some weird reason. Or like every single time someone makes a personal post, we don't go on and we're like, Ezekiel, you know, like we're not like, you know, like there's a time and a place to be excited about your ship, you know, even on like, yeah, on official posts about the show, I can see you saying I want this ship, like that's fine. But on people's personal posts, I think it's weird to ask for ships. I'm like,
people have done that? I haven't seen that.
Yeah, people have done that. Or people comment on like an actor's post, like they'll count, like I'm pretty sure people commented and like, oh, welcome Rachel Perel Foskett, and then a bunch of people, and it shocked me, a bunch of people were like, no, I want Cindy dead, Ezekiel all the way, and I was just like,
there were also people who didn't want Cindy around because they wanted Ezekiel for themselves. I posted stuff about them on Instagram, and someone commented like, no, he's mine, and I was like, okay.
That's like someone who commented on my my Katie McGrath in the Legends of the sword edit where she gets stabbed, and they're like, "Why would you make this and upload it?" And when she gets stabbed, and I'm like, "What? It's a movie. I can do what I want." And they're like, "Oh, I don't like watching her get stabbed," and I'm like, "That acting." It's a movie.
It brings back the last time when we used the term "don't like, don't read," but this one will be "don't like, don't watch."
Don't like something like.
Nobody pointed out something that's been frustrating me too. She just said, "I'm so mad/sad that the other librarians don't know about Ezekiel's true personality and how much he does." And always screaming, "Stop being so thicky dingus." Especially the moral code scene. Like, I don't understand why they keep, like, I get it because I don't think the others know, but they keep like pulling back or like defying the whole backstory they like present. I don't know, present's not the right word. That they established, there we go, in Christmas Thief.
But they don't know about that. He hasn't told them. So they still don't know. They think that he still just steals. Now they think that it's because he was raised to do it. And I don't know how that's affected their view of him.
Yeah,
But they don't know that he gave all that away.
And they don't know that he remembers point of salvation.
It's so frustrating. And we're almost to the end of possibly the last season. So it's like...
I'm hoping it will come out in the trial of the one.
Yeah, because they're being reduced to their most primal states in that episode to figure out who should be the librarian.
And he's just screaming to them like, "I watched you guys die multiple times. I'm not going to do this again."
And he did. That is the thing that he snapped about in Christmas Thief. He had to learn. And it's getting to him for people not to know, and that was also evident in this episode when he was like, "I do have a moral code," and they were like, "What?" And he was like, and he said, "Work in progress." That was some BS. We know it's moral code. What? Like,
that's what I'm talking about though, because that was them as like writers pulling back for some reason.
He chickened out telling them like he always does at the he always like gets angry and like just in the reunion of evil when he like is trying to hold back and keep up the face aid that Dean talked about that he's had since Point of Salvation, especially that he's like he was, because he was more he was kind of hesitant to care before Point of Salvation. Like he did have that moral code, he was a good person, but he didn't know he wasn't dedicated to the library, and he was kind of like, I don't know if I want to do this, but now he really, really is.
Yeah.
They don't believe him because he's lying to them and he changed into a liar, and they don't know that, so they take everything that he lies about at face value, and it's a really interesting flip, and it's very frustrating.
Yeah, but he said Ezekiel Jones doesn't tell lies, so technically it's not a lie, he's just omitting it out.
Not telling the truth.
It's still being dishonest.
Again, if with his own moral code, that's his whole thing is gray. It's just the gray areas.
He is chaotic good. He doesn't care about laws, and he doesn't like.
So Nove Lee just asked, and I want to know what you guys think, because I actually can't really think of an answer. Like, why do you think he's afraid of like telling the others? Because like Eve probably knows, but Cassandra and Jenkins and Jake definitely, and Flynn definitely not.
They're definitely ignorant. Flynn actually might. Flynn, I would contest, does know that he's changed, at least.
I think Flynn
very
would
drastically. Because the thing is, Flynn has an interesting perspective. He just comes and goes, and he doesn't. Because when you're going through a change, you don't notice it bit by bit, even if it's someone else changing next to you.
Exactly.
But if you leave, it's like when you watch a puppy grow up. If you see the puppy every day, you don't realize how big it is. But if your friend comes over, it's like, this dog is like 3 times bigger than it was last time. And that's how Flynn is. But with Ezekiel, especially in the werewolf episode, he's like, you literally want to die right now. What's going on?
Yeah, but whatchamacallit, I think he's like scared of them knowing, because there's like, we were just talking about him chickening out from telling them.
Yeah, he always, I don't know, I think
probably has something to do with his MI6 days.
See, but they all know already that he wanted to work in law enforcement because of Happily Ever After. So, like, that's not really a secret. And, like, Eve knows about MI6. They all know about MI6 at this point, actually, because he talked about it in and What Lies Beneath the Stones. So
no, I mean more like it's probably something that had to do during the MI6 days. Like, maybe they found out and they acted differently around him. I think it's mostly because he doesn't want anybody to treat him differently.
I think that might be it. I'm also wondering if it has anything to do with the way we grew up. Because, I mean, we all love Lenore, but she was probably a little bit of a shitty mother, especially the way she was interacting with him.
Maybe maybe he's afraid that they won't believe him or they won't listen to him.
I think he might be afraid it's going to be exactly like his mother and his family. And they'll make fun of him or not believe him. The same way he was actually a good thief.
Yeah, maybe.
Because that's the only thing that makes sense to me. And it would make sense why he'd back out and like put on this persona so easily. I don't know.
Maybe it's to do with the line where he's like, the library invited Ezekiel Jones because it needed Ezekiel Jones, and like when Eve is like, don't ever change, maybe he thinks that if he's not the same person that he was when he came to the library, he has less of a chance of being allowed to stay.
Oh, shit.
Because, you know, he was, I don't know, I'm just spitballing here.
No, but I think among all of them, Eve is probably the one who knows that he's capable of more, so much more.
Oh yeah, obviously.
She knows. She's seen his.
She probably knew long before all the others knew. That like what he thinks.
Maybe, you know, here's what I think. Here's another idea. Maybe, see, the thing is, when he first didn't. So first of all, he's been stealing and then giving away to like children and charities and stuff, presumably for a long time. He probably. We don't know when Lenore took him in. It could have been when he was a lot younger, or when he was around the age that the library sent him a letter.
I think it's probably before that.
Because we know that in the Luma fee. What?
We both think when he was younger, because I know you brought this up before about the same time he got his letter, but I think it makes more sense for him to have been an established thief beforehand, because then he just would have talked.
Yeah.
Got it.
No, exactly. He would have already been an established thief in the time he was.
Oh, you mean he's been a thief in like both?
Pretty obviously, he was
just before and after.
Like he was a thief already. Like he was already a thief when Lenore took him in. Obviously, Lenore took them all in because they were thieves.
You're saying both was already a thief. Now I know.
But then in the Luma Fate reality, I mean, in this reality, maybe the reason that he threw away his letter and was so concrete in thinking he could only be a thief was because Lenore took him in and he was introduced to thinking of stealing in a religious way instead of just a way to survive.
That's probably
And he already had a home and security that he had been looking for, basically. Mm-hmm. So he threw the letter away. But in the other universe, he didn't throw the letter away, and he went to the library looking for a job when he was like 15, 16 years old and stuff. So that could have been because Lenore didn't find him or something like that.
Because in
he needed somewhere to go.
Yeah, because in his reality where he became the librarian, he treated Eve as his mom.
Yeah, he said that like acted like Eve was like a mom to him. So I think that would be a really reasonable point for the thread to have split, basically, because the thread had to split in a lot of ways to lead all of them to being in that place.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so that would make sense as to why Ezekiel didn't answer his first letter in this universe, because he already had somewhere to go. But at some point, he left them to go work for MI6, and that's why they treat him like that, I think.
I think he did it at the same time and just didn't tell them. I have a feeling.
No, because think about how old you have to be in MI6.
Well, if he had met Lenore when he was around like 16, 15, he could have been with them for like 3 years, and then MI6 could have come call him.
Okay, but he could have met Lenore younger in this universe.
Well, I'm just saying like, he didn't have to pull out leave. I mean, he obviously like wasn't there all the time, but I mean, he probably like still went.
Yeah.
He's doing as a librarian.
Yeah, but then again, But yeah, so that would explain why he was ashamed of working for MI6, because his family would have been upset with him if they found out, or if they did know, they were upset with him, and that's why he didn't want the library to know. And I think also because it's part of this reputation. And so his reputation is almost like to protect him as much as to protect his family. Like he doesn't want them to know he's a world-class thief, so, but he also just wants them to know that he worked. We don't know, but he just wants his family to know who he really is. But then he doesn't want the rest of the world to know that he was an MI6 agent. He wants them to think that he is a world-class thief, and then he wants the librarians to think he's just a world-class thief at first. When he first speaks, he's like basically the biggest philanthropist on the planet. It's like a Robin Hood, but he doesn't tell them that when he first meets them, even though he's been doing that for God knows how long by the time he joins the library. Because he said that's why the library sent him a letter in the first place. In fact, the library sent him a letter when he was 16, and if that means he's probably been taking care of other people his whole life. Like maybe even when he was a street rat, he was the kind of person that gave everything he had to the little kids and stuff. Which would explain why he's so connected to little kids now, is because that's probably kept him going before he met Lenore, was taking care of other people.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been what he's always wanted.
Speaking of kids, do you think there was the scene in the jail cell where he said they took away my Game Boy?
See, I know we were talking.
That was because his lockpicks were in it.
Yeah, I know we were talking.
I know, but do you guys know how big a Game Boy is?
Well, if it was like.
Do you know how big lockpicks are?
There's those like little tiny.
I have a set of lockpicks.
Isn't there like
those
rectangular Game Boys? Like he could have fit a lockpick.
Okay, the original Game Boys are like this big.
You know, there are little tiny ones though. I swear.
The Game Boy colors are this big because I have a collection of them at home.
The Game Boy Color that you can put it into a lockpick set.
Where the heck did he put it?
In his pocket.
You would have seen it if it was in his pocket.
I don't know. Maybe he had inside jacket pockets. I don't know. He pulled it out of his ass. It was up his anus. Who knows? It's a movie. Let it happen.
Did you just? Oh my God! You're sitting there painting your nails, happy as can be, and you imply that Ezekiel Jones can fit an entire Game Boy. It is.
We were just before we went live. We were talking about Sword in the Stone. So don't even.
No. Don't say that on live. You're right. Okay. Okay. Now I want to write that as a crack fic.
Okay, but if it was really off the butt, how did they get it off him?
Stop.
This went dark. We're not talking about this anymore.
Chokes. Don't do this to me.
Okay, but there is an implication that Ezekiel was in prison before.
Stop
even though this is just holding, but there's an implication he's been in prison before, and I think that's hilarious.
I mean, he's a thief. He would have been thrown into prison once or twice.
Of themselves with Phil, I think it was.
I'm glad the dog was there.
Those BTS pictures of them in a jail cell with Phil, was that jail cell?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes, it was that one.
Okay,
because
but
remember when we saw his tattoos, Jake's tattoos.
Oh yeah.
In the BTS.
That was one of my favorite Jake and Ezekiel moments. Was when they worked together to break out. Like I want to see more of that. I love it.
And they didn't.
I like how they still.
Doing. Like that is a sign of why we need multiple librarians, because none of them they're not polymaths like Flynn. They need each other.
They fill each other's gaps.
Okay, but that's a good point, because think about Ezekiel. Ezekiel has a secret advantage, which I think, I don't want to reach too far, but I think it might come into play in Trial of the One, because that's a big point, is they need each other, because they're not disciplined in multiple areas, except Ezekiel spent God knows how long in the Point of Salvation learning from them everything that he could, and not just the other librarians from Eve as far as fighting goes. And we've already seen how much that has changed him.
Mm-hmm.
Like he is so aggressive, he is so ready to fight, he literally brings weapons and stuff on missions. He does, and like that's a huge change from Ezekiel Jones doesn't do punchy,
Anything.
and they don't seem to seem to let it fly right over their heads.
Yeah. Like no one's acknowledging.
But yeah, he is really ready to fight. Like he's almost too ready to fight. Like needs to calm down.
Honestly.
Which is why it's going to be interesting to see the trial of the one, because it says it reduces them to their most primal stages, and so far they all look pissed. But Ezekiel mostly looks kind of concerned.
Yeah, no.
So I can't.
With his whole blocking, it looks like he's unaffected or just like not fighty, like the other two are.
He doesn't want to fight them.
But like he looks ready to fight.
But the rest are like so ready to fight each other.
Or like ready to.
He looks like he was ready to defend.
Yeah.
That's the best way to describe it. Like,
is that Maggie or is it Justice? Maggie, are you there? Is Maggie lagging for you?
Yeah, she's lagging.
Okay. So just me then. I have no idea what she's trying to say.
Yeah, me neither. I can't even see her. She's completely frozen. I just hear like bursts of sound. Well,
oh no, Maggie. Should we talk about the next episode?
what's the next episode again?
And some dude named Jeff. It's Lindy's episode.
I'm excited for her to direct.
I know, same.
I'm really stressed out that we're not going to get any endgame gay relationships, so I'm just hoping for a lot more side characters that are gay before the season's out. If that's how we're going to go, you know?
Maybe one of the D&D people.
Because right now it seems like if they go with Cassandra and Jenkins, like the most likely thing to happen would have to be Jake and Ezekiel for us to have anything gay as an endgame. And I just don't feel like we can have nice things like that. Like, I don't, like, yeah, they do a lot of stuff, but I don't think that they would do that. Like, I don't want, my hopes are not up. My hopes have spent too long being squished down my whole life.
Honestly,
so I'm like,
honestly, I don't think they're gonna make that Jenkins and Cassandra canon. Oh, is Maggie back?
I don't know. That's what I need in my life.
what?
Okay, still hear me.
What?
Can you guys still hear me?
Kind of.
Yeah,
Okay.
kind of.
Fun, because you guys are working fine for me.
Oh wait, you're back. Okay, great.
Hey, there we go. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, please, let Haskins be canon.
I mean, I would love it because multi-shipper is me, but
Yeah, I'm such a multi-shipper. I'll be happy with anything, but we all know what we want deep down. But
Oh yeah,
like
never gonna happen.
Like-
Be nice.
I'm happy with any ship, honestly.
we were already set up for disappointment the moment it started. So like that's just how it is to be us. But that's the glory. That's the glory of being a multi-shipper too. Is we're still going to be happy even if we aren't fully satisfied. You know.
Yeah. Same.
That's all you can ask in the end. When you never get what you want.
Did you guys see the promo for the next episode? I almost said trailer. Promo for the next.
I haven't.
I haven't.
Oh wait, I can't. I can pull it up on YouTube real fast. I forgot to download it. I know we don't have any promo pictures again.
Again, no promo.
Thing is, I'll get out.
Do you think we're gonna get it on the same day as the airing again this week?
Probably. There's bullshit about the aliens. I don't care. We go from here. There's stuff. Wow, the promo is not uploaded. to the TNT drama website, so I just need to search the librarian.
Shocking.
Death.
Wow.
I hate
Amazed.
them. The only good thing about the Librarians possibly getting canceled after the season is I'd never have to watch anything on that trash channel again.
I found it on some promo website, TV promos.
More like TNT, like no.
Okay, let me screen share real fast.
Are the Librarians and Charmed? Like that's the only good thing they've ever had produced or aired on their channel.
There's no drama.
Platform way. You guys ready?
Okay.
Jenkins, we need a door!
Yeah, sure. One door coming up.
Oh my dear God. He switched bodies on purpose.
Someone's trying to get into the library.
Who was that?
I'm Jenkins!
It's always Wednesdays at 8 on.
So
I love how they did the body switching thing.
yeah, like I appreciate that it's not like the actors. It's slightly the actors pretending to be each other, but it's also like we see the actor just in the other person's clothing at the same time.
What?
Am I lagging? Am I lagging?
You lagged a bit for me.
Nice. But I was just saying, I like that we see them like both as each other, as like themselves and as the actor. That makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does, yeah. Definitely. So we see them as actors, but on the mirror, it's the other character. Which is cool.
It's like a look into the subconscious. Like it's like in some body swap movies where they keep the voice. It's like instead of keeping the voice, we keep the face.
Mm-hmm.
Which has got to be fun to like work with because you have to pretend that the face you're seeing is someone else entirely.
Yeah.
Like when they do that bit where like Eve calls for a door and then like whoever that is comes out and he's like, one door coming right up, and it's obviously not Jenkins to us. And like if you're there in the moment, it definitely is not John Larroquette. So they have to like pretend that they're looking at John Larroquette and nothing else.
I think that one of the reasons why they're all looking weirdly at him is because it doesn't seem like the thing Jenkins would say. Like one door coming right up.
That's something Cassandra would say.
Nah.
But Dean Devlin said that this was a fan of the Librarians. And we obviously know it's not going meta. So like, is this some D&D guy with like major league conspiracy theories who knows about the library? I guess like I don't know.
Didn't we already have the chick in the Forest episode who knew and everyone thought she was crazy?
Yeah, but I mean, how can he know intimately enough to be like, yeah, I want to swap bodies with Jenkins? Like she didn't know who Jake was or anything like that.
Maybe he's got magic powers.
I don't know, but it's so weird. Like I'm still trying to figure out.
There was an episode of Stargate SG-1, and it was because they have these stones in Stargate that are alien, and when you touch one, anyone who's touching the other one, that you start to they're supposed to switch your bodies basically, but if the stones are like malfunctioning, basically you kind of just see flashes of like each other's memories and stuff. So this random dude found a stone and they had the other one, so he was seeing all these flashes of their missions and like the inside of a military compound, and he like called them and he was like, guys, listen, you need to help me. And that was one of my favorite episodes. So maybe it's something like that where like because they accidentally get swapped, so maybe he kind of just like has known about them for a while or something. I don't know.
Jury Everything just brought maybe it was a past employee, like someone who was with the library at some point. I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised.
He's supposed to be a young employee.
Yeah, he's a really young dude. That's why.
Okay, we never get an explanation for why between the movies and the beginning of the show, nobody works there anymore besides like Jenkins.
Yeah, it's weird. Well, I mean, we never really seen anyone working there in the movies either. It was just Glenn, Judson, and Charlene, except for like the people manning the library at the Metropolitan Library.
No, but there were people in the background like
no, there were people in the magical library.
Were there?
Yeah, there were.
Especially in the beginning of the second one, I think.
Yeah.
He's fighting with the trident in one of the hallways, and Judson has one of his assistants come take it away from him. He's like, stop.
Oh, I forgot. I don't know, maybe people were just leaving the library. Maybe it's because they were directly connected to the Metropolitan at that point, and it wasn't an annex.
Maybe Flynn got so weird after Nicole's death that he made everybody leave. Just like, get out.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised.
Get
There's
out of my
a
house.
whole lot of different reasons. Oh,
Yeah, Jerry Riggins says Leo takes a shot of Turin. Oh, we're at the 1 hour mark.
Okay, but the fact that the day was saved because Jake and Ezekiel would never hurt each other. True love, bitches.
Mm-hmm.
Loved it. It was great. It was so beautiful.
I'm really sad that the episode ended the way it did. I mean, obviously they have to keep up the angsty plot, so it's gonna happen. But
it's not really angsty now. At the moment, it's just frustrating.
We've seen some of the promos. Ezekiel has been seen in his outfit from the Trial of the One, and like saying that like whatever it takes, and then he's like librarians together forever or whatever. So he and also from the way he's blocked, they have primitive weapons. He doesn't. He has like a grappling hook or whatever, which isn't even a lethal weapon, which is also interesting. And he looks different, the way he's blocked, the way he's defending whatever that button is, the way he's the one saying that they should still be together even though they're in this place with their primal. Like, he seems the most coherent so far. Like, we haven't even seen anyone else talking or doing anything besides running around in that episode, like in that place. We've just seen Jake and Cassandra running around, really angry, not looking like themselves, not saying anything, ready with primitive weapons, ready to like shoot each other. Whereas we see Ezekiel talking, we see him, So it really, so it looks like maybe because it's a trial, it's a game. There's a button. It kind of reminds me of Point of Salvation in a way, like they have, like it's a competitive game though. It's a multiplayer. And so the library had to put them if the library is the one who puts them there, and we don't know what that place is, but it seems like it's some sort of alternate reality or pocket dimension or whatever. Maybe Ezekiel isn't affected by that, and maybe that's why the library needed him.
Mm-hmm.
So he's the one to fix this BS.
Which brings me to think that at the end of that episode, all three of them are going to press the button at the same time. Which then, and
that's gonna fuck up with the universe and
cause... basically. I was trying to think of a different way to say it, but without saying...
that's totally what's gonna cause episode 12. They're all gonna press the button at the same time. Mm-hmm. And I bet the librarian's gonna try to stop them because they're like hiding behind that log when he says it, and I bet they're like next to him after he's convinced them. Mm-hmm. And like probably the library's like, screw you guys, you can't.
And they've been talking about how they literally, especially in the BTS stuff, they're like the enemy, you don't know who it might be the library itself, and that seems to be really where it's heading. And the library is like, this bar is like not like, and it also seems this season's been implying that the library and its rules and its behavior are fluid and evolve over time, like a person grows. The library made this, like the library tried to break this rule on its own once before, and it messed up. The library made us learn from mistakes. So obviously the library isn't perfect, and it is as good as the people that are in it. But it's so powerful that I think they need someone.
God.
they need, like, the library is as powerful as a god now. They need someone to take and, like, if they have to fight the library, someone needs to be powerful enough to fight the library. And just saying, we have that Norse god crystal in the library. And I thought that was interesting. Because Ezekiel's the only one without a magical power that could be used to fight the library, besides even Flynn and stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, if the end game is they have to fight the library and conquer it in order to make it be good again, basically. If they have to control the library itself, like it is an artifact, basically. Like it's the artifact that's out of control. And
the library is sort of like an artifact that collects other artifacts.
And so much magic and power and data is built up in it. It just
can't handle it anymore.
It needs stabilization.
Yeah.
And that might fall into the cornerstone Litz theory that we had at the beginning of the season in a way. Like maybe, because we know the cornerstones are involved, so maybe that's part of stabilizing it and like rebuilding the library. Maybe they destroyed the library and rebuild it from scratch, and that's why they need the seed or something. Maybe that's why they need the cornerstones. Who knows?
We just need the episode
A lot
now.
of stuff could happen.
So,
Maybe they used the
Maybe
cornerstones to bring the library back in episode 12.
maybe.
Library, they're in a universe where the library doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So they do destroy the library, so they need to bring it back.
So they bring back the library, and maybe like it's a hard reset for the library somehow.
Have you tried turning it off and on?
Have you tried turning it off and
On and off.
on? Yep, that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But what if when that happens, they need a new spirit of the library anyway? They need, because like maybe Ray died, maybe they killed him, maybe that's why he was trying to stop them. They killed him.
Whoops.
They killed Ray. Maybe they need a new, you don't know.
And Jenkins gets a position. I don't know. And that's just another decision that they have to make about who's going to be stuck with the library forever.
I gotta go.
I should probably go too. I know that this house is loud.
Oh yeah, let's wrap up then. So I'm really tired. Why am I doing the wrap up? Anyways, so next week we like barely talked about it because it's really just gonna be a filler episode, but it's gonna be a good filler episode that's gonna be directed by Wendy Booth. So don't forget to watch next week's episode. Was it And Some Dude Named Jeff, directed by Wendy Booth. It's gonna be beautiful. At Wednesday, 8/7 Central on live tweet with #Librarians and at TNT, and tell TNT to
At TNT Drama.
show already, please.
Yes.
Stop making us all suffer. I'm
At
just watch.
TNT Drama. Renew the librarians. Is it time to bring back the hashtag?
We will find out after this episode, I bet, if we're getting renewed. Because we usually find out before the finale comes, and I'm telling you, it's going to be based off of the Alienist ratings.
Hashtag renew the librarians at TNT Drama.
Watch this episode. Help us the ratings get good. Make your friends and family watch it. But
We'll
have
see you
fun.
next week.
Please.
Thank
Bye.
you for hanging out with us.
Thanks.
Bye, guys.